Hi, everyone. We're back here live in our studio in New York City as we wrap up day 3 of our coverage of the 76th UN General Assembly and everything that goes around the kind of circus that is the UN General Assembly here in New York every year. I am joined by my colleague, Teresa Welsh, who's a senior reporter at Devex, covering all things food and much more. The Food Summit was today, happening now, right?
It is happening right now. Yeah, it's great to be back with you, Raj. The food system is happening right now, albeit virtually, although we have had the opportunity to see some of the folks that are involved here in New York. But
there's been some gatherings kind of on the sidelines of all this, but the main summit itself is virtual technically.
Exactly, yeah. So they have quite the program today. I'm expecting quite a few leader statements and big announcements. Obviously, we saw from President Biden sort of previewing some of the moves the U.S. is planning to make related to that. So I'll be watching for most of the day today, and we'll be bringing our readers the latest, the highlights, and all of that coming to you tomorrow.
What's it like to cover a virtual summit / hybrid summit with some people here, some people not here? How's it feel for you?
It's definitely a different experience. I will say it is a little disappointing the Food System Summit is not happening in person after all of the time that we've all spent covering it and talking about it and writing about it and everything.
Sure.
But as a lot of the folks I've been talking to have said, it's not necessarily even about today and what happens today. The announcements are important, but what's really important is what's going to happen afterwards and how this whole sort of community that's coalesced around this issue carries it forward. But it definitely is a challenge covering a virtual event. You don't necessarily have all the people in one room, which as a reporter is the dream. You got everybody you need in one spot.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, I can say, for the people we've met on the outskirts of all this, the mood around the Food System Summit, it's a little bit jubilant. There's a sense of like, yes, we got here, we made it. And now it's all about what's going to actually happen next when it comes to implementation and follow through on all of these pledges. What are you writing about in Devex Dish? What should people be looking forward to who want to follow that newsletter?
Yeah, definitely. So Devex Dish is our new food systems newsletter, and I will definitely be having my take on the summit in next week's edition. So would love for you to sign up. You can find that on our website. It comes out on Wednesdays. And I really want to be looking ahead. We've spent a lot of time writing about this process and all of the dialogues and all the convenings and, all those UN buzzwords.
Yeah.
But, spending time looking at the concrete mechanisms that some folks are putting together to see, how these commitments are actually carried forward. And of course, that's, not only a task for next week, but will be a task for the months to come.
Absolutely. And I'll just mention, obviously, if you work in food, in ag, you might say, yeah, of course I'm going to subscribe to Devex Dish. Maybe you already have. But if you work in almost any other sector, food systems is the thing you need to know about, right? It's a cross-cutting issue, touches on climate, touches nutrition, it touches health. And there's a reason why there's a big summit happening this week. It is one of these cross-cutting things that touches just about every SDG, and all of us who work in global development need to be kind of on the pulse of that issue.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's why this is one of the most interesting issues for me, is you're correct. It touches really on every single SDG, and there's a whole aspect of it. And I think sometimes people say food systems and you don't really know what that is, or you think it maybe doesn't have anything to do with you, but everyone eats. And so we should all care where our food's coming from.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let me just mention a couple other things as we wrap up our coverage. First of all, a huge thank you to all of you who have followed along day 3 of our main program. It's been fantastic. We've gotten so much great feedback from our audience. A big thank you to all of our team. We've got a team here and a team all over the world following all kinds of safety protocols to bring you all the news you're getting. So a big thank you to them. I want to also thank our partners who bring their support and expertise to make all of this possible. They include AstraZeneca, Bayer, IFAD, MSD for Mothers, Novartis Foundation, Save the Children, Smile Train, and our underwriter this year is Rabobank. We really appreciate the support of those partners to help us frame out the program and support all of the work that we do here covering the UN General Assembly and bringing it to our audience all over the world. I also want to mention, we talked about Devex Dish, the Newswire. That's our daily newsletter. Sometimes it's funny, I find people who read something like Devex Dish and don't realize there's also a Newswire or vice versa.
Exactly.
So I want to mention it because it is another of our many free newsletters, but it's kind of our main daily news source. If you want to have your finger on the pulse of all things global development, a little bit of sort of the inside take on what's going on any given day, that's what you're going to subscribe to, the Newswire. I should also mention that while we're wrapping up the main program right now, there are some more side events that we're doing, part of our ecosystem coverage of UNGA. At 12 p.m. Eastern, we've got a conversation on access to medicines. It's produced in partnership with Gilead. And at 1 p.m. Eastern, there's an event on nutrition for mothers and children produced in partnership with Smile Train. And those links should be in the chat if you're following along right now. So look for the links, join us. You're not going to want to miss those sessions. And then we've got another ecosystem event a little further down the road. You don't have to worry about it now, but it's on September 29th. It's a really interesting one that we're doing in partnership with the Global Financing Facility. And we're going to have executives from the Gates Foundation, the World Bank, USAID, and the head of the GFF, all really thinking about what's the COVID-19 kind of secondary health crisis mean. All the other diseases that have been neglected or care delayed. So it's an important one on September 29th. Again, follow us on Twitter, read the newswire. You'll get to see where this event's happening and join us for it. So again, a thank you to all of you. It's been really fun. It's been a busy, interesting week. What do you think?
It has, yes. It's definitely different. I was walking around near the UN headquarters yesterday just to sort of see what it was like, and definitely fewer people than usual around.
Yes, it has been a different year. And a long way to go yet on the global pandemic. Hopefully by next year, we'll be in a place where the world can congregate once again. Either way, we'll be here. Thanks to all of you. Be well.